The massive alien warships dropped out of hyperspace like dark thunderclouds gathering over Earth's blue skies. 200 vessels, each one the size of a small city, cast shadows across the moon as they took positions around humanity's home world. Admiral Rextar stood on the bridge of his flagship, his 4 yellow eyes studying the primitive planet below. The intelligence reports had been clear. These humans were nothing more than barbaric savages who could barely travel beyond their own moon. Their largest military ships were smaller than Vorthack transport vessels, and their weapons were crude chemical rockets that could barely scratch proper armor. Such a pathetic species, Rextar muttered to his second-in-command. Look at them scurrying around like frightened insects. They can't even unite their own planet, let alone defend it. The Vorthack Empire had conquered 47 star systems in the past century. Each time, the native species had put up some resistance before accepting their fate. But this system was different. Earth possessed rare minerals that the Empire needed, and the humans had foolishly refused to surrender when given a chance. Captain Kim Taehyun watched the alien fleet through his telescope from the hidden observation post on Ceres. The small asteroid base looked like nothing more than a simple mining operation, complete with fake or processors and civilian equipment scattered around to maintain the illusion. His hand stayed perfectly steady as he activated the quantum communicator. Outpost 7 to Earth Command. He whispered into his headset. The wolves are at the door. I repeat, the wolves are at the door. The coded message traveled instantly across the solar system, reaching dozens of similar mining stations throughout the asteroid belt. To any observer, these outposts appear to be simple rock miners struggling to extract precious metals from floating debris. The aliens had dismissed them entirely in their intelligence reports. Rextar's fleet wasted no time demonstrating their power. The first bombardment struck Luna Base, humanity's largest off-world facility. The research station exploded in a brilliant flash of white light, debris spinning away into the void. Panic-filled human voices immediately flooded the communication channels. "Please, we surrender," came the desperate transmission from Earth's surface. "Don't hurt our people. We'll give you whatever you want." "We have families here," another voice pleaded. "Women and children. Please show mercy." The alien crew laughed at the pathetic human pleas. Their tactical displays showed Earth's primitive defense satellites trying uselessly to target the Vorthack ships. A few small missiles launched from the planet's surface, but they exploded harmlessly against the invaders' shields. Commander Yilnoth studied the readings with satisfaction. "Sir, their most powerful weapons are barely registering on our sensors. This will be easier than conquering the Zelthans." Rextar nodded approvingly as more human voices begged for mercy over the radio. These creatures were even weaker than the intelligence reports had suggested. Within a few hours, they would have complete control of the solar system and access to all those valuable mineral deposits. Dr. Lee Minji worked quietly in her laboratory deep inside what appeared to be a civilian asteroid mining station. The aliens flying overhead had no idea that beneath the fake rock surface lay one of humanity's most advanced military facilities. Her fingers moved across holographic displays, coordinating with similar bases throughout the belt. "Phase 1 complete," she whispered into her communicator. "All stations report successful deception. The enemy believes we are defenseless." The Vorthack forces continued their systematic destruction of humanity's visible military assets. Orbital defense platforms exploded one by one, their wreckage falling toward Earth's atmosphere in bright streaks of fire. Each loss was met with increasingly frantic human radio transmissions begging for the attacks to stop. General Park Jaiwin sat in the command center buried 3 kilometers beneath Europa's frozen surface. The moon appeared to house nothing more than a small scientific research base, but beneath the ice lay the nerve center of humanity's true defense network. Banks of quantum computers process information from thousands of hidden sensors throughout the solar system. "Sir, enemy fleet has taken standard occupation positions," reported his aide. "They're following exactly the same pattern they use in the Kepler 442 system." Park nodded grimly. Humanity had been studying alien conquest patterns for 30 years, ever since the first Vorthack probe had been detected at the edge of the solar system. Every strategy, every tactic, every weakness had been cataloged and prepared for. The alien admiral watched with satisfaction as the last of Earth's orbital defenses went silent. The planet lay helpless beneath his fleet, its people crying out in terror over every communication channel. Soon they would land troops and begin the process of enslaving this primitive species. Captain Cho Hyun-woo floated silently in his concealed position among the asteroid debris, his ship's hull designed to look like just another piece of space rock. Around him, thousands of similar vessels waited in perfect stillness. The aliens had passed within kilometers of his position without detecting anything unusual. "All units holding position," he reported quietly. "Enemy has taken the bait completely." Rex Star's celebration was interrupted by a priority message from the Vorthak High Council. His superiors wanted confirmation that the human homeworld was secured and ready for mining operations to begin. "Send word to the Council," Rexstar commanded. "Earth has fallen. The humans proved even weaker than expected. We'll begin landing operations within the hour." But deep in the shadows of space, 12,000 human eyes watched and waited, ready to show the galaxy what Earth was truly capable of when threatened. 3 hours after the Vorthak fleet declared victory over Earth, their patrol ships began to notice strange readings near Jupiter. Commander Yilna frowned at his sensor display as another scout vessel reported unusual energy signatures coming from what should have been empty space around the gas giant. "Probably just radiation interference," he told his crew. "These primitive humans don't have the technology to hide anything from our sensors." But Captain Kim Sung-go knew better. From his position, inside what looked like a simple asteroid, he watched the alien patrol ship pass just 2 kilometers away. His vessel was completely invisible, its hull designed to mimic the exact composition and temperature of space rock. The Vorthak scanner saw nothing more than floating debris. Dr. Lee Minji worked frantically in her hidden laboratory, coordinating the most elaborate deception in human history. For 30 years, humanity had been preparing for this moment. Every mining station, every research base, every civilian outpost had been built with secret military purposes. The aliens saw exactly what humans wanted them to see: a weak, divided species with primitive technology. "Activation sequence initiated," she whispered into her communicator. "All Ghost Protocol stations are responding." Throughout the asteroid belt, hundreds of fake mining operations began to stir. What the Vorthak believed were simple rock crushers and/or processors were actually sophisticated camouflage systems hiding massive military installations. Each asteroid contained advanced shipyards, weapon manufacturing facilities, and fully armed warships waiting in perfect silence. Lieutenant Nam Seojun monitored alien communications from his post on what appeared to be a small research station orbiting Saturn. The facility looked like nothing more than a handful of scientists studying the planet's rings, but beneath its innocent exterior lay one of humanity's most powerful listening posts. Every Vorthak transmission was being recorded, analyzed, and decoded. "Sir, the enemy fleet is spreading out into standard occupation formation," he reported to his commander. "They're following the same pattern they use on 37 other conquered worlds." General Park Jae-won studied the tactical displays from his command center deep beneath Europa's ice. The aliens had no idea that Jupiter's largest moon housed the central nervous system of Earth's defense network. For decades, human engineers had carved out vast chambers beneath the frozen surface, creating a fortress that could coordinate military operations across the entire solar system. "Perfect," Park muttered as he watched the alien ships take their predictable positions. "They're exactly where we want them." The Vorthak had made a critical error in their intelligence gathering. They had observed humanity for only 5 years before launching their invasion, studying Earth's surface conflicts and assuming that human civilization was limited to what they could see. They had no idea that every major nation on Earth had been secretly cooperating since alien contact protocols were first established. Captain Cho Hyun-woo floated in perfect stillness among genuine asteroid debris, his ship indistinguishable from the rocks around it. His crew had been living in this position for 6 months, waiting for the invasion they knew would eventually come. The artificial gravity was turned off to avoid detection, and they survived on recycled air and cold rations. "Movement detected," his sensor operator whispered. "Vorthak patrol ship approaching from Sector 7. The alien vessel passed within 50 meters of their position, its powerful scanners sweeping across hundreds of asteroids. The sophisticated sensors detected iron, nickel, and other metals, exactly what they expected to find in space rocks. They had no way of knowing that human engineers had learned to perfectly mimic natural asteroid composition while hiding advanced military hardware inside. Dr. Song Chae-young worked in her laboratory aboard what the aliens believed was a civilian research vessel studying comet formations near the outer edge of the solar system. In reality, she was monitoring deep space for any additional Vortex forces that might be approaching Earth. Her ship and dozens like it formed an early warning network that stretched far beyond Pluto. No additional enemy contact detected, she reported. The Vortex committed their entire regional fleet to this operation. Admiral Rextar remained confident in his victory as his ships established orbital control around Earth. The planet's communications had gone silent, except for occasional desperate pleas for mercy. His intelligence officers reported that all human military installations had been destroyed or surrendered. The conquest was proceeding exactly as planned. But 50,000 kilometers away, Major Kim Jisoo supervised the final preparations at Installation Omega, a massive military complex hidden inside what appeared to be a burned-out asteroid. The facility had been under construction for 25 years, its entrance carefully disguised to look like natural crater damage. Inside, 3,000 human military personnel worked around the clock, maintaining equipment, and preparing for the moment their deception would be revealed. All weapon systems are fully charged and ready, she reported. Stealth fields are holding at 100% effectiveness. The aliens continued their standard occupation procedures, completely unaware that they were surrounded by the largest military force in galactic history. 12,000 human warships lay hidden throughout the solar system, their crews waiting in perfect silence for the order that would change everything. Lieutenant Colonel Oh Yuna monitored Vortex communications from her concealed position near Mars. The enemy was already making plans to begin mining operations on Earth's moon and discussing which human population centers will be most suitable for slave labor camps. Their arrogance would soon become their downfall. Enemy fleet is fully committed, she whispered into her communicator. All units report ready status. Awaiting final authorization. The trap was set, and the Vortex Empire had walked directly into it. The first Vortex patrol ship disappeared near Jupiter at exactly 1400 hours, Solar Standard Time. Commander Yilnov waited for the usual check-in message from Scout Vessel 7, but only silence came through the communication system. He frowned at his display screen, watching the small blip that represented the ship suddenly vanish from his sensors. Probably equipment failure, he muttered to his bridge crew. These outer planets have strong radiation fields. But when the second patrol ship went missing an hour later, followed by a third, Admiral Rextar began to pay attention. 3 ships didn't just disappear from equipment problems. Something was hunting his scouts near the gas giant, and he intended to find out what. Captain Issa Hyen watched the alien search ships approach her position through her stealth vessel's passive sensors. Her ship hung motionless in the shadow of one of Jupiter's smaller moons, its hull temperature matching the frozen rock perfectly. The Vortex scanners passed over her location 3 times without detecting anything unusual. Target acquired, she whispered to her crew, preparing to engage. Her ship, the Shadow Strike, had been designed specifically for this type of warfare. Unlike the massive battle cruisers the aliens expected, human military doctrine focused on small, fast vessels that could strike without warning and disappear back into the darkness of space. The Vortex had never encountered this style of fighting. The alien patrol ship exploded in complete silence, its wreckage spinning away into Jupiter's massive gravity well. By the time the other Vortex vessels arrived to investigate, Captain Yi's ship had already moved to a new hiding spot among the planet's many moons. Admiral Rextar studied the tactical reports with growing concern. 7 patrol ships had now vanished near Jupiter, and his sensors still showed nothing but empty space and natural satellites. Either the humans had technology far beyond what intelligence had suggested, or something else was happening in this star system. Send a full squadron to investigate, he ordered. 12 ships with heavy sensors. I want to know what's destroying our scouts. Deep beneath Europa's ice, Admiral Kong Do Hyen received a report of increased alien activity near Jupiter. The time for hiding was almost over. For 30 years, humanity had prepared for this moment, building the largest military force in the galaxy while appearing weak and divided to any outside observers. Initiate Phase 3, he commanded his staff. All units prepare for Revelation Protocol. Dr. Lee Minji worked at her control station inside the asteroid facility, her fingers dancing across holographic displays as she coordinated with installations throughout the solar system. The moment humanity had been preparing for since first alien contact was finally at hand. All Ghost Protocol stations reporting ready status, she announced. Stealth systems are holding at maximum effectiveness. Enemy forces remain completely unaware of our true capabilities. The Vortex squadron approached Jupiter, with weapons charged and sensors running at full power. 12 powerful warships spread out in standard search formation, their advanced detection equipment scanning every moon, every asteroid, every piece of debris in the area. They found exactly what they expected to find: rock, ice, and trace amounts of various metals. What they didn't find were the 3,000 human personnel working inside Europa Base, the massive fortress that had been carved out of the moon's interior over 2 decades of secret construction. The base's entrance was perfectly disguised as a natural crater, and its entire structure was shielded by layers of ice and metal that made it invisible to even the most advanced alien sensors. Captain Young Min, he commanded one of 50 attack vessels hidden in Jupiter's upper atmosphere, using the planet's massive storm systems and radiation belts to mask her ship's signature. Her crew had been stationed here for 8 months, waiting for the order to reveal humanity's true strength to the galaxy. All Jovian defense units report ready, she transmitted on the encrypted human frequency. Enemy squadron is moving into optimal engagement range. The aliens never saw the attack coming. 50 human ships rose from Jupiter's roiling clouds like demons emerging from hell, their weapon systems fully charged and targeting solutions already locked in. The Vortex squadron found itself surrounded by enemies that shouldn't have existed, using technology that their intelligence reports said was impossible. Admiral Rextar watched in horror as his entire search squadron was destroyed in less than 3 minutes. The human ships moved with precision and coordination that spoke of years of training and preparation. These weren't the primitive savages his intelligence officers had described. Impossible, he whispered as a tactical display showed the devastating effectiveness of the human attack. Our reports said they barely had space travel capability. But the worst revelation was yet to come. As the last Vortex ship exploded in Jupiter's gravity well, every human mining station throughout the asteroid belt suddenly came alive. What the aliens had dismissed as simple rock crushers and our processors began to transform, revealing their true nature as military installations that had been hiding in plain sight for decades. Admiral Kang's voice cut through every communication frequency in the solar system, broadcasting simultaneously to the Vortex fleet, Earth's population, and listening posts throughout the galaxy. "Attention, Vortex Empire," his calm voice echoed across space. "You came to our home believing us weak and divided. You saw our surface conflicts and assumed we were primitive. You were wrong." The transmission continued as more human ships began appearing throughout the solar system, dropping stealth fields and revealing weapons that should not have existed. Humanity has never stopped preparing for war, because war is what we do best. Welcome to Earth. The asteroid belt erupted in brilliant flashes of light as 12,000 human warships dropped their stealth systems simultaneously. What had appeared to be scattered rocks and mining debris suddenly revealed itself as the largest military fleet in galactic history, perfectly positioned around the trapped Vortex forces. Admiral Rextar stared at his tactical display in complete shock. The screen showed thousands of red enemy contacts where moments before there had been nothing but empty space and floating asteroids. His 4 eyes blinked rapidly as he tried to process what he was seeing. "This is impossible," he whispered to his bridge crew. "Our sensors showed nothing but mining operations." Captain Young Min, he commanded the lead attack squadron as her ships moved into their first engagement formation. Her vessel, the Iron Fist, had been disguised as a simple cargo hauler for 6 months, floating motionless among real asteroid debris while her crew waited for this moment. Now her weapon systems came online with deadly efficiency. "All units, this is Wolf Leader," she announced over the tactical network. "Execute attack pattern Delta 7. Show them what humans do to invaders." The human ships moved unlike anything the Vorthak had ever encountered. Instead of the formal battle lines used by most galactic civilizations, the Terran fleet attacked in coordinated swarms that struck from multiple directions simultaneously. Small groups of ships would dart in, unleash devastating firepower, then disappear back into the asteroid field before the aliens could respond effectively. Commander Yilnov watched his squadron's shields collapse under the relentless human assault. These weren't the crude chemical weapons their intelligence had described. The human ships fired directed energy beams that cut through Vorthak armor like it was made of paper, and their missiles moved with guidance systems more advanced than anything in the Empire's arsenal. "Sir, we're taking heavy damage," his tactical officer screamed over the sound of explosions. "Their weapons are far more powerful than our estimates." Lieutenant Kim Jisoo led her fighter wing in a desperate attack run against the Vorthak flagship. Her small ships were fast and maneuverable, designed to slip through enemy defenses and strike at critical systems. But this mission was different. It was a suicide run, and every pilot knew it. "Remember why we're here," she told her squadron over the communication system. "They came to enslave our families. Today we show them the price of threatening Earth." Her fighters screamed toward the massive alien command ship, dodging defensive fire from dozens of weapon emplacements. One by one, her pilots were shot down, but they kept coming. When Kim's own ship took critical damage, she aimed it directly at the flagship's bridge and activated her ship's self-destruct system. The explosion tore a massive hole in the Vorthak command vessel, and Admiral Rextar felt his ship shudder under the impact. He couldn't understand this level of sacrifice. In Vorthak culture, individual survival was always the highest priority. These humans were throwing away their lives as if death meant nothing to them. Major Park Seojin commanded a squadron of heavy assault ships that emerged from their hiding places among the larger asteroids. These vessels had been designed specifically for close-range combat, their hulls reinforced to ram enemy ships if necessary. The Vorthak had never encountered enemies willing to use their own ships as weapons. "Target the alien cruiser at coordinate 749. He ordered his gunners. "Full power to forward weapons. If we can't punch through their shields, we'll ram them." The human heavy ships charged straight at the Vorthak battle line, absorbing tremendous damage but never breaking formation. When their weapons couldn't penetrate alien shields, they simply flew their ships directly into the enemy vessels, creating massive explosions that destroyed both attacker and target. Captain Lee Jae-yun monitored the battle from his position aboard the command ship hidden deep in the asteroid field. The human fleet was taking heavy casualties, but their strategy was working. The aliens had never faced enemies who treated their own lives as acceptable losses in pursuit of victory. "All units, maintain pressure on the enemy flanks," he broadcast the fleet. "Remember, every ship we lose saves 1,000 civilians on Earth. Make your deaths count." The Vorthak formation began to collapse under the relentless human assault. Their ships were individually superior, but they had never developed tactics to fight an enemy that used swarm attacks and suicide runs as standard procedures. Every time they destroyed a human ship, two more would take its place. Admiral Rextar realized his fleet was doomed when his tactical display showed that more than half his ships had been destroyed or disabled. The humans weren't just fighting to win. They were fighting to completely annihilate every alien vessel in the system. There would be no prisoners, no negotiations, no mercy. "Send a surrender message to the human fleet," he ordered desperately. "Tell them we'll withdraw immediately if they'll let us leave." But Captain Cho Hyunwoo, now commanding the human forces after 3 senior officers had died in suicide attacks, had a different response. Surrender rejected, he broadcast back, "You came to our home to enslave our people. Now you'll learn why nobody threatens humanity and lives to tell about it." The battle continued to rage as more human ships emerged from hidden positions throughout the asteroid belt. The Vorthak Empire's mighty fleet, which had conquered 47 star systems, was being systematically destroyed by enemies they had dismissed as primitive savages. Within 6 hours, not a single alien vessel remained operational in Earth's solar system. The smoking wreckage of the Vorthak fleet drifted silently through Earth's solar system as Admiral Kong Do-hyun stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the final alien escape pods being captured by human boarding parties. But the victory at Earth was only the beginning of humanity's response to the invasion attempt. All fleet commanders, this is Admiral Khan, he announced over the secure communication network. Phase 4 is now active. Begin Operation Payback immediately. Captain Park Min-young received the order aboard her heavy cruiser as it prepared to jump to hyperspace along with 2,000 other human warships. Her target was the Vorthak homeworld, 300 light-years away. The aliens who had come to enslave humanity were about to learn what real terror looked like. Navigation set course to the Vorthak Prime system. She commanded her bridge crew. Maximum speed. Time to show these aliens what happens when they threaten our families. The human fleet that emerged from hyperspace above the Vorthak homeworld was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. While other species fought wars with honor and tried to minimize casualties, humans had developed military doctrine based on one simple principle: complete and total destruction of anyone who threatened Earth. Colonel Oyuna led the first wave of attacks against the Vorthak orbital defense stations. Her ships moved with the same swarm tactics that had devastated the alien fleet at Earth, striking multiple targets simultaneously and never giving defenders time to organize an effective response. "Remember no mercy," she told her pilots over the communication system. "They came to make slaves of our children. Today we make sure they never threaten anyone again." The Vorthak defenders had expected a traditional battle with formal engagement rules and opportunities for surrender negotiations. Instead, they faced human pilots who flew their ships like guided missiles, ramming defense platforms when their weapons ran out of ammunition, and treating their own lives as acceptable losses in pursuit of victory. General Kim Tae-hyun commanded the ground assault forces that landed on the Vorthak capital city within hours of the fleet's arrival. His soldiers had trained for urban combat in environments similar to alien population centers, and they moved through the city with ruthless efficiency. The alien civilians fled in terror as human troops systematically destroyed every military installation, government building, and communication center they could find. This wasn't conquest for territory. It was punishment designed to ensure the Vorthak Empire could never threaten Earth again. Dr. Han Seojin worked in the field research laboratories that followed behind the combat forces, studying captured Vorthak technology and biology. Every advantage would be analyzed, every weakness cataloged, and every useful innovation copied for human use. Nothing would be wasted in humanity's quest for galactic security. "Fascinating," she muttered as she examined alien weapon systems. "Their energy efficiency is 30% better than our current designs. Engineering teams will want to see this immediately." News of humanity's swift and brutal response spread throughout the galaxy like wildfire. Other alien civilizations watched in horror as the species they had dismissed as primitive savages systematically dismantled one of the galaxy's major powers in less than 2 weeks. Captain Lee Minji received surrender offers from 17 different alien governments, while her ship patrolled the outer edges of former Vorthak territory. Each message was more desperate than the last, with alien leaders begging for peace treaties and promising never to threaten human space. "Forward all surrender requests to Earth Command," she told her communications officer. "Let the politicians decide who lives and who gets the Vorthak treatment." Admiral Khan established his new headquarters on the captured Vorthak homeworld, coordinating human military operations across dozens of star systems. The 12,000 ships that had defended Earth were now spread throughout this region of the galaxy, ensuring that no alien species would ever again mistake humanity for easy prey. Status report from all theater commanders, he requested from his staff. Major Song Chae-young delivered the summary from her position at the tactical display. "Sir, Vorthak military capacity has been reduced by 94%. Their shipyards are destroyed, their government has collapsed, and survivor populations are requesting humanitarian aid." The galaxy's power structure had shifted permanently. Where once the Vorthak Empire had been a major force, now there was only human-controlled space expanding outward from Earth like a protective bubble. Other alien civilizations hastily recalled their military forces from anywhere near human territory. Lieutenant Commander Kim Jio processed a constant stream of diplomatic messages arriving at his communication station. Alien ambassadors were desperate to establish peaceful relations with humanity, offering trade agreements military alliances, and even tribute payments in exchange for guarantees that Earth would not expand further into their territory. "Sir, we're receiving formal surrender from the Zolonian Confederation," he reported to Admiral Khan. "They're offering to become a human protectorate in exchange for our protection against other hostile species." The message was clear throughout the galaxy. Earth had revealed itself as the apex predator of known space. The species that other civilizations had dismissed as weak and primitive had demonstrated military capabilities that surpassed anything previously imagined. Captain Cho Hyun-woo stood watch on the bridge of his patrol ship at the edge of human-controlled space, monitoring sensors for any sign of hostile alien activity. Behind him, automated shipyards around Earth were already beginning construction of the next generation of human warships. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson about underestimating humanity, and Earth intended to make sure that lesson was never forgotten.